Hey everyone, I am back with my story. Um, and again, just a reminder why I share this story, why I talk about it. Um, it's to speak for the voiceless. There are many, many, many people who have gone through what I've been through and even worse, who are not able to speak for themselves and are just trapped in this place. I know this for sure because I have interacted with some. Um, but also, I know that the Bible does say that there's nothing that you have faced on earth that is new. So if I've gone through it, someone else has gone through it. So, um, yeah, my point of sharing is to speak for the voiceless, give language to people who don't understand what they've gone through. Um, but most importantly, the biggest thing about me sharing is to give hope. You can heal. You can get out of that place of um, despair, that place of pain, hurt, not understanding yourself, not knowing why you do what you do. You can get out of that place and live life in abundance. Live life in abundance. Thrive in life and not strive. Um, I certainly don't claim to, you know, have achieved, whatever success but I am certainly on my journey and I'm certainly not bound anymore. So I just want to share that with with you who's going through the most and you fail to even talk to anyone. Let you know you're not alone. You're not abnormal for feeling or dealing with what you're dealing with. And most of all, you can heal. You can live life in abundance and thrive. Yeah. So, back to my story. I left off last time when I had just joined this church where I first heard someone speak about child sexual abuse, publicly. And yeah, so after that, I quickly made an appointment, and um, thankfully, I was seen within a very short period of time. One of the associate pastors saw me, and we had about, I think, 3 sessions in all. Not not every week, but really close together. Maybe over 2 months, yeah, 2 months or 2 to 3 months over that time period. We had, those 3 sessions, and boy, was it just, yeah, it was very enlightening. It was very heavy. There was a lot that came out, I mean, I had held on to this for now. Um, I think I was in my late, let's see, 2010. Oh yeah, I'm not shy about my age. So it was, that was about 2010. And I only found out that I'd been sexually abused when I was about 19. So that was about 2021. Yeah, so that time frame. about 2001, sorry, 2001, between 2001 and 2010, that time frame. So that's like 9, 10 years or something. Um, so there's a lot that had happened, and there's a lot that, as I've shared already, and there was a lot that needed to be dealt with. So after those 3 sessions, um, there was nothing else. I didn't know what else to do. And I thought, okay, I've gotten my healing now. Now I know better, you know. Now I know better. You cannot, it's even ridiculous to think, but you cannot heal from something that you've been dealing with for over 10 years in 2 or 3 counseling sessions. Nah, it won't happen. All you do in those 2 or 3 counseling sessions is just begin to unearth, some of the things that have been eating you up. You certainly need more time than that. So anyway, yeah, now I was, walking around confident. Okay, so I've gotten my healing. Now I'm good. I'm good to go. Um, I was, I joined ministries at the church, and I felt like I was thriving. I was in a safe environment around safe people. I met, I started meeting some people at the church, and the cycle continued. It's like I was just dealing with the same man, but with different faces, different body type, and whatnot. So yeah, the cycle continued again. Um, I'm trying to recall my first encounter at the church. Oh yeah, it was someone that I was in a certain ministry with, and um, we started talking, and they asked for my number, and um, they started getting kind of intimate, but still trying to withhold. So me being me, I because I'm a lover. I am a lover, a hopeless lover. So yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's just me. I've come to accept that. Yeah. So yeah, I I'm like, this dude, I'm feeling him. He's feeling me. So I'll tell him how I feel. Oh my word! Didn't he blow that out of proportion? He didn't even talk to me. He just went straight to a mutual friend and told them, please tell this girl I don't want anything to do with her. Um, I don't love her like that. I just da, 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 da. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. So that was the first encounter, and obviously my ego was bruised. Um, in my heart, I'm like, dude, you could have just told me. You didn't have to involve other people. When you would, text me or whatever and call me and tell me that you miss me and how was your day and whatnot, it was just the 2 of us. But now you want to involve other people? Yeah, very cowardly. Anywho, um, yeah. So I got burnt like that, and I'm just like, dang, these Christians. Um, the next encounter was not too long after that, um, in another ministry, because I was involved in several ministries. So yeah, after that I had, I think about, let's see, about 2 other encounters. where there was, some emotional. Um, Thank God now I was able to sort of um, put a barrier of the sexual encounters, but there was still emotional. My emotional strength was not yet strong. Yeah. Um, so, yeah, I had about two other encounters, emotional encounters, where, I put myself there, um, but I misread everything, and, so then I got to a place where I was just like, well, you know what, Lord, maybe marriage is not for me. Like, really, maybe marriage is not for me. Maybe I'm just too damaged to get into a relationship with anyone. I misread the signs, you know, either I misread the signs or guys just want sex from me, like maybe I'm just too damaged for it. And I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to raise my daughter alone. I'll just accept my fate. This is my the consequences of me, the consequences. There's a joke going around right now. Consequences. Yeah, I digress. Yeah, these are the consequences of, me messing up like that. And so I decided, okay, I'll just dedicate my life to serving you and raising this child that you've given me. And yeah, but guys, God really loves us, like, deeply, so deeply and personally. He didn't call me to celibacy. He didn't call me to. He knows my heart's desire. My heart deeply desires to raise, deeply desired at that point to, well, even now, but like, he didn't allow me to stay in that place of thinking, okay, maybe I'm just too damaged to get into a relationship, to get married. And he started speaking to my heart. He started putting the desire back in me to have a husband. And he started showing me ways of how I can have a good husband. He started showing me through the same church that I was going to. There was no particular program for recovery from child sexual abuse or things like that, but the teachings were very Bible based. And when you have a place where you have the full counsel of the Word of God, and what I mean by the full counsel of the Word of God is that every part of you is touched: your soul, your spirit, your mind, your physical body. So, um, the word because the Word of God does touch every part of us, in as those areas that I've talked about, every intricate part of us. So I've been under that church, and I started seeing how I need to heal myself still, you know, and I started taking baby steps, but I didn't have anyone who was walking with me, you know, specifically for that healing. And so it still wasn't as effective. There was some growth, but it wasn't as effective. because you might not know this, but I will tell you this, or you might know this. Healing cannot be done on your own. In isolation, you cannot. You have to have people around you, people who truly love you, people who truly care about what you're going through, and most of all, people um, who have the right knowledge. So yeah, I started this healing journey, but I was alone essentially, and so it wasn't as effective. Um, so I had the knowledge, but it was hard to put it into practice because I had no accountability. I had um, no one to walk with me through this path, and it was hard to implement the things that my head had started knowing. So I even got to a place where I shared my story at the church, with with the youth group at the time, and I even led a healing group afterwards. And the people that I led, oh my word, they thrived. They thrived. I'm still in touch with a few of them, not all, but inside I was still stuck. Even as I'm leading others through this, because now I have the head knowledge, but I haven't yet, you know, practiced it because I myself had not yet taken that journey with someone. So I was still just, sort of living a lie. On the outside, you feel like, okay, I'm supposed to be healed. And at the time, I actually didn't know what was going on. I was just like, what? I didn't feel, that there's what's called an imposter syndrome, where you don't feel like you're your real self. So when you're out there, you have this image, but when you go back home, it's just, that's not you. That's what I was living at that time. And I couldn't figure out, but why don't I feel centered? Why do I still feel like there's something missing? And in that state of mind, and remember now, I had gotten back to the place where I said, okay, I do want marriage and I'll trust you for a man, Lord. And I prayed, and then I started, I had these demands of how I'll know that this is the right person. Ridiculous, if you ask me. Now looking back, I was focusing on the wrong things because I was still not healed, you know. I was focusing on, so one of the biggest things that okay, I won't say that because that's a bit private and invasive. So, um, I will say this though, there were the things that I was looking at had meaning for me, but they were very superficial. They did not look at the core of a human being. Is this person compassionate? Is this person helpful? Is this person thoughtful? I took those things for granted, but you cannot take those things for granted. You cannot. When picking a life partner, you cannot take those things for granted. I took them for granted. I didn't even think about it. I assumed, especially that way, I assumed that this person will already have these things. So I was looking out for other things that were outward, that had no inkling to how you will relate with each other, whether you are compatible. I didn't look at that. And so this guy came along, um, and he had those superficial things that I was looking for, and I went with him, you know, even when there were serious red flags, like house on fire kind of red flags. Oh my, I bulldoze through them. I can be quite strong-willed. Yeah. I bulldozed through them because I was determined that I would finally get married. I was not going to be alone anymore. I was going to be chosen by someone, anyone, clearly. And that's a horrible recipe for a marriage. Oh my word. Oh my word. Horrible. Yeah. So that's how I ended up in an emotionally abusive relationship, which I will get into in the next video. So stay tuned.